Hey everybody, welcome back. Anyone who's seen a few reviews of mine from like a month ago, like right after I started this channel, will be familiar with this room. I am, like I said in my last review, was heading upstate yesterday, like 7-hour drive upstate with my parents to see my daughter. So we're up here at our log home that we have in upstate New York, and this is like one of my favorite rooms in this house, and that's why I decided to shoot in here. So apologies for the lighting, but it's the best I can do in this room. But it's such a beautiful fucking, with the wood and everything. How can I not do reviews in this room? So apologies for not getting a review up last night and stuff. By the time I got up here, picked my daughter up and everything, it was getting kind of late, and I was like sleep deprived from the last 2 days. So I just passed out, and then I set an alarm for like 3:30 in the morning so I could knock one of these out, and like immediately rolled back over and passed the fuck out again until like 7 in the morning. And then I was able to knock these two out. So let's talk 2015's It Follows, directed by David Robert Mitchell. It's Mitchell, right? Yeah, it's Mitchell. Starring Micah, is it Micah? Maika? I don't know, Monroe, but she is absolutely gorgeous. I love her. And also we have Keir Gilchrist in this, who, the only reason I even bring an actor's name up is he played the young Henry in James Wan and Leigh Whannell's Dead Silence from 2007, which I love. That's such an underrated Wan film that I'll definitely be covering down the line. So It Follows. When this movie came out and I saw it, and still today, like, this is one of my favorite films of that decade, from 2010s. Like, this is a great movie. It has such a good atmosphere. The whole premise of the movie of just a sexually transmitted demon, basically, is such a great concept. Like I say with a lot of things and stuff, I don't know every single horror movie ever made, but could this have been done before? Maybe, but I really don't think so. I've never heard of this premise being used before, and it is such a unique premise, even if it has been used like decades ago in like one small ass movie that no one's ever heard of or seen or never talked about since. But the whole premise of just passing on this demonic or curse, or whatever you want to call it we'll go with, is fascinating. Like, just the whole idea of like what it represents. And for me, the way I always, read into this was that it's death. It's the inevitability of death, that it's always following every one of us. And, it's not like death's running around banging all over the walls with a tire iron and shit, making its presence known or anything. No. It's just subtle, and it creeps after us every single day of our lives. And we never know when it's going to catch up. We never know when death is going to come for any of us. And just that whole concept alone makes this movie so fascinating and so interesting to just dissect it, and just like all the themes being explored and everything. Really, really good. Like I said, the atmosphere in this movie is so well done, and it has many, many Halloween feels to it. Like, this movie, when I watch it, I am instantly reminded of Halloween. Just the way that it's shot, like I said, the atmosphere in it, the score in this movie is great. And it's so Carpenter-esque. Like, not even just like Halloween, like Carpenter's Halloween. Like, to me, like, this feels more like the score in this movie, like Season of the Witch, like Halloween 3. Like, with the synthesizers and everything like that. It feels very Season of the Witch like, but it's a great, great score. And then we even have the girl in the beginning named Annie, which no doubt is a reference to Annie Brackett from Halloween. So, I mean, there's a whole bunch of Halloween sprinkled throughout this movie, which is awesome. It really fits. And so we have the opening scene with the girl and stuff who's in the middle of the street in like her pajamas or whatever, and like She is so obviously not okay. Like, this girl is so obviously under severe distress. And like the neighbor just asked her, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And she's just, "All right, fucking, are you serious? Come on." She is so obviously not okay and not fine. And even the father, like, and stuff, "Are you alright?" And she, "Yeah, I'm fine." She runs and grabs the car keys and takes off and shit like that. I mean, he does call her when she's on the beach waiting for it to get to her. And, but still, like, you wouldn't immediately, like, if that was me, like, it seems like that was her only car, I would immediately just go right to that neighbor, "Listen, I need your fucking car," and just fucking follow her, man, because she is not okay at the beginning of this movie. And then we get that shot, that awesome shot of her on the beach with her leg broken and like backwards and stuff like that. Really, really cool. Good, really good opening to set the tone of this movie. Very great shot. I love that shot of her on the beach. Now, the time period that this movie takes place, and I've heard this discussed a lot, it's very well done. Like, how the director made this film in a way that it wouldn't be like instantly dated a few years from now. Like, we see so many different things that point to different time periods that this could be taking place in. Like, they all have black and white TVs, they were old antenna TVs. What else? I wrote something down. I thought there's so many. We have the old movie theater that they go to that even has like the old, like how they used to do in the cinemas and stuff, with the organ player and stuff before the movie would start. Like, so many things pointing to that this takes place in the past, like a period piece almost. But then we have the stuff like the fucking clamshell fucking computer or phone, whatever the hell that is. Which is like the only thing in this movie that makes it like futuresque in a way. It's like, what the fuck is that clamshell? I want one, honestly. You know, if they make it in like blue or something like that, that would be nice. That would be pretty. I'd like that. Fucking, and even in the theater, it's playing fucking charade, which I looked up just to confirm my point with like the time period. It came out in 1963. So it's like this movie theater just playing this random movie from the 60s in like 2015 time. Like, so just the way that like the time period of this movie takes place being so up in the air and not defined is great. Like, I think he did a really, really good job with that. Let's see here. And I gotta shave. Or maybe I'll just grow it out on the side. Who knows? Next time you see me, I'll look like Noah on the fucking ark. The sister, when she's walking with Jay and she's smoking a cigarette, which she obviously is not smoking a real cigarette. Like, you see no smoke come out of her mouth, and for some reason that bothers me in so many movies. Like, if I was an actor, I'd be full on in method acting and stuff, because I think that method acting is such a great way to get into a role and to get a great performance out, the best performance that you can. Just look at some of the great method actors, fucking De Niro and Daniel Day-Lewis, and like, it goes on and on, but it's like, you see their performances in movies and you wonder why the fuck they're such iconic performances. Like, it's amazing. But she's smoking this cigarette, and then she immediately puts it out, and she asks Jay, and she's like, "Do I smell?" And she smells it. She says, "Like, you smell like whatever, flavored nicotine and stuff." Because she's trying to hide it from her mom. She smokes. Get the fuck out of here. She will reek of cigarettes as soon as she gets in that house. Like, that's ridiculous. And then why, when they go on the date and stuff like that, and or the second date and stuff, like right before he chloroforms her and tells her the whole thing, why have sex in a cramped car like that? They were just on this fucking deserted beach, some nice little beach and stuff. Why not just have sex there? Why walk back and go into this cramped car? I don't know. That's just a fucking observation I made. And did he really need to chloroform this poor girl? Really? Like, he couldn't have just said afterwards, like, let's hey, there's this building here, let's like check it out or something. Like, let's take a walk, fucking like, anything. Like, he had to chloroform and scare the living shit out of this girl before he lays on her even more terrifying shit after he passes this STDemon onto her. Come on, like he did not have to chloroform this poor girl. Like, absolutely not needed at all. Some great shots in the first scene with the demon and stuff when it is just walking and stuff, and like good tracking shots with, I assume, I'm not a camera expert like I said in a video in the past, but like seems like a steady cam and stuff, how when he's wheeling her around in the wheelchair and getting her close and then turning her around and taking her back and stuff away from the demon and stuff like that. I'm just gonna, like I said, refer to a demon, fucking, or it, whatever comes out of my mouth. You know what I'm talking about, as I always say. But yeah, really good shots in that first scene with the demon, it, thing. So, really cool. He couldn't at least help her out of the car after dropping her off. Like, after all the shit he just put her through, he couldn't at least like walk a lady to the front door. Like, he has to fucking just like toss her on the fucking ground and just drive off. Like, what a dick, man. Like, seriously, he could at least just fucking like make sure she was on her feet even before like leaving. Like, no, he just fucking drags her ass out of the car and just like drops her on the fucking street and just drives away. Like, come on. Fucking ridiculous. And where are the parents in this movie? Like, we see Jay's mom at the beginning in like a scene or two. And then besides Greg's mom a little later, these kids have no parents. Like, there are no parents in this movie. They're just gone. Unless like this whole town's parents work night shifts or something like that. There are no parents in this movie. And I'm noticing the light flickering a little bit, but you know what? Ooh, makes it more spooky. Makes it more, maybe I'm in a haunted sauna. See? I can make any fucking thing that should be a distraction or low production, make it make sense and rationalize it to just be part of the whole thing. Fucking, I'm in a haunted sauna, and it's scaring the shit out of me, man. And it should be scaring you guys too. Maybe it's the fucking it demon, STDemon on his way to get me. Who knows? But yeah, no parents in this movie at all. Like, except for the beginning. And again, like the Halloween influence in this, like with the classroom scene. When Jay's in class, and then she, just like in Laurie Strode in Halloween, when she's in class, and she looks out the window, sees Michael Myers, and Jay looks out and she sees that creepy old woman fucking walking towards her and everything, and she runs out of class and stuff. Like, there's so much Halloween influence in this movie, and it works. It works very, very well, like I said. As soon as I saw that creepy old woman walking towards me in school, like, that's when you know. Like, this shit's for real. I mean, like I said on the channel, like, I am a skeptic of paranormal shit to an extent. Like, yeah, sure, this is bullshit. But as soon as someone says, all right, well, you go in this creepy haunted place for fucking, there's no fucking way I'm going in there. Just the case that it is true and is real. I'm not fucking going in there. So, like, I probably even think, like, this guy hired this woman to come creep me out. And like hired people to fucking walk after me and shit. Like, I try to be debunking this shit all over the place. But like in a more logical state of mind, just the creep factor alone, if I saw this woman, this creepy ass old woman who has no business being in a high school in like her fucking nightgown, I would absolutely believe him, and I would immediately, in her position, if I was a girl, if I was her, I'd be fucking the entire town that night, immediately. Like, right off the bat, man, I would just turn whore immediately and just fuck every man in sight, just to get rid of this thing for as long as fucking humanly possible. Are you serious? No way. When Jay's like with Paul and stuff on the couch, and he mentions that they were each other's first kiss and stuff, and then he kissed his sister, like, later on in time, and she's like, kissing two sisters, that's kind of gross. why? If that's gross, then like high school me was gross at a point or two. that ain't gross. I don't understand that line. Maybe to her character. We get that creepy scene in the kitchen and stuff when after the brick or whatever is thrown through the window, and Jay goes in and she sees it like walking towards her, and with like her fucking tits out and stuff like that, and she's pissing herself all over the floor and stuff. What a creepy shot, man. That's such a cool shot. Like, but like she's pissing all over the place. Like, can they see the piss? Like, can they, like, can they go in the kitchen and see piss all over the floor, or it's like the demon's piss invisible also? Like, I don't know. I don't know how all the rules work, but like we see it like manipulating things in the real world and stuff like that, and picks the chair up and throws it later on in the beach and stuff like that, and takes Jay's hair and everything like that. So like, and she breaks the door open, like that, makes the hole in the door and stuff like that. So like, it can manipulate real like objects and stuff. So she's like pissing all over the floor, like, and they see the demon's piss, just like puddles of it on the floor, or is it invisible demon piss? Like, I don't know. That was just something I, for some reason, thought of. But she sees all this, and then she gets in the car and drives to the park. And she knows this thing is following her and can come from anywhere and stuff. And she sits on the swing, facing just one direction. Why? Like, are you serious? Like, you don't know what direction this thing's coming from. Like, I would be like just twirling in circles, like, or get on like one of those, like, what the hell do they call the thing in the park? Like the mini like carousel thing that you can spin around on. I'd be spinning on that shit all the way around. That way you get a 360-degree view all around you, just to make sure this thing isn't coming from any direction. Because, I mean, Annie in the beginning, the girl was smart. Like, she was sitting with her back towards the water. We know this thing could swim, as we see later on, but, like, so maybe that's how she was killed. Maybe this thing just came out of the fucking ocean. Who knows? Like I said, the rules are not explained in this movie well at all. But it works in the movie's favor, in my opinion. Like, they don't need to be. It makes it more ominous. It makes it more mysterious. It makes it more just like left open to interpretation of just not knowing how this works, where it came from originally, or anything like that. Like, I think it works in the favor of the movie. Let's see here. Good idea by Hugh, the guy who gave it to her, with the when they go to his house that he rented under a fake name and everything, and he has like the cans and bottles hanging like in front of each window and stuff, so that way when he's sleeping and stuff he can hear if it comes through any of the windows and stuff. Good thinking on his part. Like, that was a clever little touch there and stuff. Just all the shots of it like in the background and stuff like that throughout this film, which again, were like Halloween. Like, there are so many scenes in Halloween where you see Michael driving by in the background or in the background and stuff, and they don't draw any attention to it. And it's just like Michael's all over Haddonfield in that movie. Like, him driving the car around and stuff like that, like I said, in the background of scenes and stuff like that, and no attention is brought to it, which is great. And it's the same thing here, like with the demon and everything like that. Like, there's some shots of it, or what could be it and stuff. Like, they play on that a lot. Like, with having someone in the background just walking, and you don't know if it's it, or if it's just a person, like, walking and everything. Like, they did a really good job with that. And the whole scene at Greg's beach house or whatever, probably my favorite scene in the movie. Just the whole thing, and like I said, like, the earliest shot of it walking towards her is just her far in the background of the shot. They bring no attention to it. There's no like jump scare and fucking like I always say with like loud violins and shit, like a sound cue, like no music to make you like notice it. It's just subtly walking towards her in the background. And then obviously we see it more prominent as it gets closer and stuff. And then we have the whole thing with her hair being pulled up and grabbing her hair, and then knocking Paul, who fucking like, man, he gets fucking knocked the fuck away, man. He like flies like 10, 15 feet off the camera. Like, and that's fucking crazy. That's funny. And then they go into the little shed and stuff like that, and she grabs the gun, and she's shooting at this thing, and Greg's like fucking hiding behind the chair and saying like, stop shooting. And then they lock the door and everything, and then it breaks the door open, and the creature comes inside. And he says in the rules like earlier on, like how it can impersonate people you know and loved ones and stuff like that. But we really don't see that much in this movie. Like, that kid is the kid who's like peeping on Jay when she's in the pool at the very beginning. And then we see him again, like he must be a neighbor and stuff. And we see him again on the bike and stuff, like riding on the sidewalk before they get in the car to drive off somewhere. So like, that's someone she knows. And then one other, which I'll get to here at the end, but definitely feel like they could have played on that more. Like, they could have played on the whole it portraying people you know, instead of like some random woman pissing herself in your kitchen, or like some 9-foot tall giant. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it was a little bit of a missed opportunity that they could have played into that a lot more than they do. I mean, we get Greg's mom for like 2 seconds, like when she's knocking on the door and she kills Greg. Which, like, again, the rules, like, how does this demon kill you? Does it fuck you to death? Like, that's what it seems like with Greg's death. I mean, obviously, we just hear, like, grinding on him and stuff, but, like, is that, like, the whole concept? Like, is she fucking him to death? Because she broke this fucking woman's leg in that fucking half backwards at the beginning. We don't see exactly what happened to her, but that's the aftermath. And I don't know any type of fucking that ends with a fucking broken leg. Fucking backwards like that, but who knows? People are into kinky shit. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's this demon's thing, man. Who knows? And why does Jay see it like immediately after sleeping with you, like minutes later, but like for Greg, after she sleeps with Greg, to pass it to him, it's like a few days, it seems like, before he sees it. Like, could he be lying? Like, maybe he saw it and he just doesn't want to freak them out. Or maybe, you know, we have a scene of him with flirting with some girl and stuff like that. Maybe he not unknowingly, but, you know, slept with this girl and passed it on to her. And it was after her for a day or two until it got her, and then came after Greg or something like that. But I always wondered that, like, why it took him a lot longer for it to, you know, creep up on him and get to him, when, like, it started following Jay immediately. Interesting. And, like, again, like, what are the rules to this whole thing? Like, it's an STD, basically. STDemon, like I said. Is it just vaginal intercourse? What about blowjobs? Oral sex? What about anal sex? What about just a quickie hand job and stuff? If you get ejaculate on you, then fucking, that's it. You're fucking cursed now. Like, like, what are the rules for this? Like, it's just a stupid nitpicking things to think about and stuff. But it's like, how does it work? Like, does it have to be intercourse like that? Could it be other forms of sex? Like I said, like, anal sex count? What if you have a bisexual person? He has sex with a girl and he ends up contracting it from her. And then he ends up having sex with his boyfriend or something like that, or meets a guy at a bar and ends up fucking him. There's only one way they can do that. Does it not work and he thinks it worked, but then he's fucked? Like, I don't know. There's so many questions and stuff. But like I said, like, just the ominousness and the mystery to it just adds to the film, in my opinion. And what was that whole scene with Jay going to the beach and stuff and seeing the 3 guys on the boat and like walking into the water and stuff? I mean, we know obviously the implications and like what she was thinking, But like, did she fuck these 3 guys on the boat to buy herself time? Or did she just, change her mind in the last second and get out of the water? Like, it was weird how they just threw that scene in there and then just cut, like, to the next scene. And again, I guess just leaving it up to your imagination what happened. Like, did she buy herself more time? But if she fucked all 3 of these guys and stuff, like, it would have to go through the chain of all 3 of them before getting to her. But then again, we see her with the pool scene in the end and everything like that, with it following her. So I think she just changed her mind and couldn't go through with it. But I was always just a weird scene to me. And Paul just wants to fuck Jay, right? Like, straight up. Like, it's not even like he wants to save her or like help her. Like, he just wants to fuck her. Like, the way it keeps coming off in this movie, like, that's what it seems like. It's like he's had a crush on her since they were kids. He gets jealous when like Greg touches her arm in the car and stuff. He gives a little look. And then obviously when she sleeps with Greg, to pass it to him so he can take the burden on and stuff because he doesn't believe in it. Paul is obviously jealous about that. Like, so he just wants to fuck her primarily, right? And like taking the it demon off of her for a little bit and onto himself is just like a bonus perk. Like, that's what I always take from this. Like, this fucking guy just wants to fuck Jay. Like that's his primary reason for doing this. And we have that shot on the roof with it standing on the roof as like the naked dude and stuff like that. How'd he get up there? I mean, we see it climb through windows and stuff, but like, why would it even do that? Like, why even climb on top of the roof of a house? For what? Like, and it's not following anything. It's standing there. So at that point, it stands. It's not it follows. It's just standing creepily on the roof. Great shot. Really cool shot. But, like, why? Why would it do this? I don't know. Makes no sense. And then we have the ending with the pool scene and stuff, and they have all the electrical equipment and stuff. And again, like, for the time period thing and stuff, they have a fucking typewriter plugged in there. In the house, in Jay's house, they have cord phones and stuff. Like, no cordless phones, no cell phones for anybody in this movie. And the only thing is, like, that clamshell. But then, like, the clothing and stuff, like, the way they all dress and stuff is more modern. But Greg has, like a 1970s, I forget the model of the car, but like a 1970s car that looks brand new. It doesn't look like wear and tear on it at all. So again, just like the way they play with the time period here, and his intention of making it not seem dated, great job. Because this movie doesn't seem dated. Even, like 7 years later. Not at all. And in another 20 years and stuff, I feel like this movie won't seem dated much at all. Just because of the way that he plays on this whole time period thing and not setting it in a specific time. So very well done with that. And we have the pool scene and stuff when it finally gets there. And so this is Jay's dad, right? Jay and the sister's dad. Has to be. Like, if you look carefully in Jay's room and stuff, like, there's a picture of this man. So we're assuming that this is the father. And that he either, left the family or died. And that because we have that line from Jay. And so when the sister asks, like, what do you see? And she says, I don't want to tell you, or I don't want to say it to you. So it's obviously her father. And that's why she doesn't want to say it to her sister and stuff, because he must have either, like I said, he must have tragically died and was a great man or something, or maybe he was an abusive motherfucker and, left the family and stuff and got a divorce and stuff, or who knows? But like, one way or the other, this is their father. And they all start, Paul starts shooting at it and everything, and then ends up the girl puts the sheet over it and stuff, so it looks like, like Michael Myers in Halloween when he's wearing the sheet with the glasses over and stuff. I mean, there's no glasses here, obviously, but another little callback to Halloween. So, I mean, Mitchell was obviously a huge Carpenter fan of, his first Halloween film. But And then it gets in the pool with Jay and everything, and Paul ends up shooting it a few times, shoots it in the head, and we think, possibly that they killed it. But again, we have no idea how this works. And we have Paul driving past the prostitutes, and so he considers this. We don't see if he actually goes through with it or anything. Here's what I would do. I would, if this happened to me as a man, which, as you said and stuff, that it would be much easier for Jay as a woman to just pass it on and stuff, which is true in a way and stuff like that. It's easier for a woman to get laid than a man and stuff, but there's a lot less male prostitutes than female prostitutes. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know the statistics on that, but like I've seen prostitutes and stuff just chilling on the streets and stuff like that, like many, many, many times in my life, like traveling and stuff, and in New York City, obviously, and like everything like that. And so there's so many female prostitutes. So that's always an option as being a man. I would take like $1,000 and find like 10, 15 of the cheapest whores that money could buy. I'd be doing like a casting call. As soon as they walk in, we have like line up 50 of them. Just have them all, one by one come in. All right, now how many Johns do you fuck? Like, and again, like it goes back to like, is it just regular sex? Is it blowjobs too? Oral sex? Is it any that all those rules that we don't know about? But just to play it safe. All right, how many Johns do you fuck an hour? Oh, well, I get maybe one or two. All right, you're not good enough. Get the fuck out of here. Next, all right, how many people do you fuck in an hour? I fuck like 15 motherfuckers every. You know what? You're hired. And you get like 15, 20 of them. And you just fuck every single one of them. One after the other, all at the same time. Just have a huge gangbang party. And just go nuts. Have yourself a good time. Yeah, you gotta worry about STDs, like actual ones and stuff like that. But you know what? Like, even like HIV and stuff like that, I would wear a condom, obviously, but like, even in the case that you catch something after that, I mean, HIV, you can live decades with that shit nowadays with the medication they have. And look at Magic Johnson. That guy's like invincible to this shit. STDemon coming after you kind of trumps everything else for me. So I'd be willing to take that risk. Would you guys? Like, let me know in the comments or something what you would do in this situation. Because that is exactly what I would do immediately. As soon as I saw that creepy woman, maybe not with the creepy woman, because like I said, maybe he'd pay someone off. But as soon as I saw that giant come through the fucking door, immediately I would $1,000, find the cheapest 15, 20 prostitutes I could, and just be, that charge like fucking like $20 or something like that. They're desperate, and just go nuts. That way you have 20 people that see like 10 people on average, like an hour, or even if it's 5 an hour, even if it's 2 an hour, that's fucking a lot of hours, a lot of people, times 15, 20 women that are out there doing the same thing. You buy yourself some decent fucking time. And like I said, it plays into the whole overall theme of this movie, though, is that no matter what, no matter how much time you try to buy, it's still inevitably going to find you or get to you, just like death. And that's the whole, symbolism of this movie, is that this demon is death. And that no matter what you try to do, no matter how much time you try to buy yourself, you never know when it's going to catch up to you, and you never know when it's coming. And it's always just creeping after us, which is just such a great concept. And then we have the ending with just Jay and Paul holding hands and walking down the street, and the person walking the distance behind them, and just leaves it up in the air. Is that it? Or is that just some person walking? If Paul did have sex with the prostitutes and stuff, then maybe it bought them some time, but we don't know how much time has passed when they're from that scene to them walking on the street at the end. So such a great ambiguous ending. Really such a good movie. Like I said, one of my favorites from that decade. I don't even know why I'm closing this, because I fucking knocking out another one right after this. But such a great movie. I really enjoy rewatching this whenever I get a chance to. And I will be having another review up right after this. As soon as I hit stop on this, hit and record again. So I'll see you guys in a second. All right, thanks.